Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another funky bunch at Sunday Brunch Podcast, brought to you by coffee. Because without this, I would not be able to do my weekend streams or the podcast, to be completely honest. Before we get started, let's do all the plugging. We've got our Twitch at twitch.tv/DJ_funky_fresh. We've got YouTube at youtube.com/DJFunkyFreshGaming. And then, of course, there's all this stuff on Spotify and SoundCloud for the podcasts. Just look for DJ Funky Fresh or Funky Bunch at Sunday Brunch. All of which will get you where you need to go. But you're here for the discussion on the Pokemon spin-off games history. Now, I decided to do this for several reasons. One, Pokemon is popular forever, like always. And two, there have been a lot of Pokemon spin-off things in the news, what with the new Pokemon Snap game, Pokemon Smile, Pokemon Cafe Mix, and all that. So we're just going to kind of go over a very brief description of all of them as much as I can. Not everything's on, Wikipedia, and I'm not familiar with all the games. But, they're there. There's no particular order. I just kind of went down the list on Wikipedia just to grab them. So, obviously, there's the Pokemon Stadium series. There's the Trading Card Game series. There's the Pinball games. There's the Mystery Dungeon games. There's the Ranger series, the Rumble series, the Snap series, the Pokemon Puzzler series, and then other. And then, of course, there are mobile apps, which don't even have anything else, so we're going to try to hit them all today. If we can't, well, I don't know when I'm going to fit them in. But anyway, we're going to start with the, Stadium series and start with Pokemon Stadium 1, which we saw yesterday at the very end of Pokemon Snap. We did a tiny little bit of Pokemon Stadium. So, Pokemon Stadium came out in 2000. February 29th, 2000. 20 years old. So, this is not a storyline or well-defined world type of game. It's, you have multiple options. You can defeat trainers at a stadium, compete in a tournament consisting of 4 different cups with a total of 80 battles, as well as there is a gym leader castle, where you battle 8 Kanto gym leaders, the Elite Four, and the champion. When all the cups have been won and the gym leader castle is completed, a battle against Mewtwo will be unlocked. Defeating Mewtwo then unlocks another round of Stadium, Gym Leader Castle, and the Mewtwo battle, but with a higher AI difficulty. In the Stadium mode, the player is challenged to earn trophies by winning the Pika Cup, the Petite Cup, the Poké Cup, and the Prime Cup. Each of those cups has its own set of rules and restrictions. In the Poké and Prime Cup, 4 trophies may be earned, 1 for each level of difficulty, but the Pika and the Petite only have 1 trophy each. So you decide on a party of 6 Pokemon, which can be either rental Pokemon, as in the game gives you 149 Pokemon to choose from, all level 50, with all movesets defined, or you can import your Pokemon from a Pokemon cartridge. So there is an add-on for the N64 controller on the back, where you can pop it in, and then you pop in your Game Boy game, and then you can upload your Pokemon there. So yeah. Let's see. The players win a trophy after successfully completing all battles in a cup. If certain conditions are met using imported Pokemon, the player will be awarded a Pikachu with the move Surf, which unlocks a minigame in Pokemon Yellow. There is a surfing Pikachu sprite in Pokemon Yellow, which nobody knows, because you only get to see it if you've got a specific Pokemon. If you got a Pikachu with Surf, which you only can get this way. Actually, there's 2 other ways to get Surf on Pikachu. One of them is to get the missing No glitch, which can also super corrupt your game. And the other way is to do a Nuzlocke, or basically an emulator, and then set your HM compatibility to everybody, and then you can teach Surf to Pikachu normally, and then you have a Pikachu following behind you, and then when you go to Surf, instead of the standard Lapras picture, it's a Pikachu on a surfboard, which a lot of people didn't know about. So, alright. Other features in this game, the Gym Leader Castle. You have to fight the 8 Kanto Gym Leaders, and then the Elite Four, and then the Champion. However, before you fight each Gym Leader, you have to defeat their 3 Pokemon Trainers. So, in the end, you've got a ton of different options. You're fighting at least 37 battles there. You have 6 Pokemon, but you can only use 3 at a time for a battle. And every time you defeat the Elite Four, you get 1 of 8 Pokemon that can be transferred to Red, Blue, or Yellow using the transfer pack. You could randomly get a Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Eevee, Kabuto, or an Ammonite. Let's see. And the only other fun thing are the mini games, which if I do anything again in Stadium, it'll be looking at the mini games. So there are 9 mini games located under the Kids Club, and that's the one I've taken the most time in playing. There is Sushi Go Round, where the player controls a Lickitung that has to try to eat more expensive sushi than others. There's Snore War, where you're controlling a Drowsy and you attempt to put the other Drowsies to sleep by using the move Hypnosis. There's Rock Harden minigame that requires players to have their Pokemon use the move Harden to stop boulders from damaging. There's Clefairy Says, which is just Simon Says. There's Run Rattata Run, in which you're running a race against other Rattata on a treadmill that has walls which pop up throughout the race. There's Ekans Hoop Hurl, which is essentially Ring Toss, except for their Ekans and what you're trying to throw it on are Diglets. And then there's Dig Dig Dig, which is a race to see which Sandshrew can dig for water fastest. And that is Pokemon Stadium 1. Obviously, they didn't stop there. They released a Pokemon Stadium 2 in March 26th, 2001. Kind of the same thing. There's no story. The main point of this is to do the tournaments and the Gym Leader Castle and everything, just to fight there. You defeat your rival and everything. Let's see. The stadium has the Poke Cup, the Prime Cup, the Challenge Cup, and the Little Cup. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much additional here. Yeah, not too much extra. There are 12 different Pokemon themed mini games. Really no more information about the mini games or anything on here. But this is also just, a better graphic, more well designed. I've never actually played Pokemon Stadium 2. So I do want to look through it at some point. But yeah, that's Pokemon Stadium 2. And of course, they didn't stop there. They decided to make a new game. This is probably, in my opinion, one of their real first attempts at an actual story-based game that's not the main story, and it is Pokemon A Coliseum. Pokemon Coliseum is a 3D role-playing game viewed from a third-person perspective. The player, controlling a Pokemon trainer named Wes, moves through various towns and other locations, traversed using a type of one-wheeled motorcycle, battling enemy trainers and completing quests. Items are purchased at Pokemart locations using Poké Dollars. Turn-based obviously, for Pokemon. Most battles are double battle format, which means 2 Pokemon on each side. However, this does not feature random encounters. You begin at the game with 2 Pokemon. The player obtains more by snagging new Pokemon from other trainers using Pokeballs. However, only specifically designated Shadow Pokemon can be snagged because their hearts have been artificially closed. Each of the player's Shadow Pokemon has a purple gauge that is drained by battling and coming to like the player. Once a Pokemon's gauge is completely empty, you may purify the Pokemon to bring them to the Celebi Shrine to purify it. Because it will obey you, gain experience points, as well as get better stats. So, besides that, that's really the story. The story is you want to rescue all the Shadow Pokemon. Rescue them from trainers and everything. So, yeah. That is a game I am keeping an eye on and would like to play at some point. Came out in 2004. I think this even had a special Celebi. No, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. A lot of these extra Pokemon games had a special, you can get a rare Pokemon in your game now type of deal. But anyway. Following the success of Pokemon Colosseum, the next year they released Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. The main focus of this is once again to capture Shadow Pokemon and purify them. There are 83 total Shadow Pokemon in this second game to catch. This is a sequel set 5 years after the events of Pokemon Colosseum with the introduction of the hero, whose default name is Michael. So you're going around and attempting to use the snag machine to capture the Shadow Pokemon in order to save them. So, I mean, in my opinion, these are some very fun and interesting off-main series Pokemon games that are Pokemon, but at the same time, they're not Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, it's the normal Pokemon game, but in essence, you're also, you know, you've got a different story, you've got a different task, and you're just going about it in a different way. And I think because of the success of Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness, it really led to the spawn of all the other games. Like Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Games with actual stories that are not Pokemon, but are Pokemon at the same time. But, so the last game on the series for the Pokemon Stadium is Pokemon Battle Revolution for the Wii. Came out in 2007. This one goes back to the roots of Pokemon Stadium. This has 11 different Colosseums. Each, let's see. So for instance, yeah, and they each have different, changes. So for instance, one of them, the Crystal Coliseum, has a 16-person single elimination tournament mode. The Gateway Coliseum is only open to a rental pass holder. Neon Coliseum uses a wheel to choose the player and opponents battling Pokemon. So it's more of a they just made more replayability with Battle Revolution. Because, I mean, it's got Pokemon all the way up through Gen 4 at that point as well. So you don't have just the first gen or the first 2 gens. You've got 4 gens worth of Pokemon. So, obviously, most of this is focused on just, yeah, it is a lot of Pokemon, but like I said, a lot of this is just focused on really just allowing people to battle in new ways, other than just the standard play in Pokemon. Because you can do online, So, it really just kind of opens things up. And now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about the Pokemon trading card game. Now, I played this, and I never understood it. I was really bad. So, have you ever had put the Pokemon trading cards ever at home? Like, the way you use them is very similar, I think, to Magic the Gathering. Which is probably why I never got into it, because I had never played Magic the Gathering. Thus leaving me at a severe disadvantage because I just didn't understand how to play. So, Pokemon trading card game, I'll just begin. So, you've got several different types of cards with the Pokemon trading card game. You've got the actual Pokemon cards, you've got energy cards, and then there's miscellaneous items and extra cards. So, there are rules for when you can play certain Pokemon cards, and I don't know what they are. There are rules to when you can attack with those Pokemon cards. They cost energy that have to be attached to that Pokemon. And then there are item cards, there's evolution cards, and it's just like But basically, the Pokemon trading card game is a video game simulation of the original tabletop card game. You travel a young boy and travel around the game world, interacting with NPCs and challenging them to card battles. You must then defeat, 8 card club masters, each with a different deck representing elements, and then you fight the 4 grand masters, earning you the right to inherit 4 powerful legendary cards. There are a total of 226 cards in the game, which include cards from the first 3 sets released in the real world, as well as exclusive cards not available outside of the game. You get to choose 1 of 3 starter decks, each containing Pokemon cards revolving around 3 possible starting creatures from Red and Blue. Ta-da! That is the Pokemon trading card game. And now there is a sequel, which is the Pokemon card Game Boy 2 Grand Rocket Dawn Sanjo, released in 2001. It's Japanese exclusive, and it has more enhancements, such as the ability to change your gender, a training mode to help new players, a deck diagnosis to rate the effectiveness of your deck, and a new type of antagonist known as Team Great Rocket. That's about it. Just a bit more of enhancements, and it sounds a lot more friendly to people who don't know what the heck is going on. Like, I tried my hardest to understand the Pokemon trading card game, and I couldn't. No matter what I did, I just did not understand the game. It was difficult, And then after that, we've got Pokemon TCG Online, which is just a digital version, and it's probably the most popular. It's released on your web browser. No, I would not. I never really enjoyed them, but as I was saying, so the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online is still played now. It was released on web in 2011, on Windows in 2012, Mac in 2012, iOS in 2014, and Android on 2016. Basically, you can play on your computer. Every card has a little code on it in real life, which you could then input into the TCG Online. It's constantly being updated to include all your things. Oh wait, no. Only cards from the Black and White series and up release have a code to be digitally represented. But you can get booster packs in the game to build your deck and just, you can play it online. And that's really what people really wanted with the TCG Online. So, but now we get to a bit more retro Pokemon. Released in 1999, we've got Pokémon Pinball. So it's just pinball with Pokemon themed. The ball is a Pokeball, and most of the objects on the table are Pokemon related. There are 2 objectives. The main objective is to get as many points using different modes to score, different modes of advances to score them at the higher rate. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. However, there's a second objective, which is hinted at the tagline, "Gotta catch 'em all," which is to collect all 151 Pokemon to fill your Pokedex. Thank you for the bless you. So there are 2 different tables in the Pokemon Pinball. There's a red table and a blue table. Each table has its own details and gameplay elements, as well as each table has different locations, which determine what Pokemon are available to capture. So basically, you just go and try to catch Pokemon. I think you just have to hit them 4 times with the ball in order to be captured. And then, of course, you have to evolve them and everything. So it's a standard pinball game with a lot of extra things going on. But that's all to, catch them all. There are Pokemon Pinball speedruns. They're kind of fun to watch. And then with the success of Pokemon Pinball, there became Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, released in 2003. Same thing. Same as the old, there's a Ruby and a Sapphire board, similar layouts, though they feature difference. And your job is to score the highest points, as well as catching them all. Let's see, how many Pokemon are in this game? It does not say. But I think you can catch every single Pokemon in this game as well. So however many Pokemon make up the first 3 games is how many Pokemon there are. Let's see. Fun fact, it's ranked as #1 best-selling video game on Amazon's top 10 list for a week in October of 2013. That is a fun fact. And now switching gears once again, we've got the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team. We actually played this on stream. I 100% say thanks to the success of Pokemon Stadium that they decided to look into doing these games like Mystery Dungeon and everything. As this is a true, it's a roguelike revolving around randomly changing dungeons which have to be explored by the player and their partner Pokemon using turn-based moves. Focuses on the player who has been turned into a Pokemon and has developed amnesia, who later joins a rescue team with a partner Pokemon while finding out who they are. It's very roguelike. The story really goes, the gameplay goes, one attack, one step, one action in the dungeon allows everybody in the dungeon to take one step, one move, one action type of deal, and your job is to, be a rescue team. You've got missions, you've got main missions, you've got side missions, you've got side jobs. You just do them all. The game really opens up after you've beaten the main story. There's lots of extra after the game type of deal. You know, you can't evolve until you beat the game. You can't change who the leader is. You can't change the partner Pokemon until you beat the game. You can't get legendary Pokemon until you beat the game. You know, and you just got over and over. There's just so much. It's a lot to do, and it opens up a whole lot of everything. Thanks to the success of that, we got Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, released in 2008, which is the sequel. It includes the addition of Gen 4 Pokemon, because Mystery Dungeon had Gens 1 through 3. And so the Explorers of Time and Darkness added one more gen. Exact same standard, you know. Who you take on as your Pokemon is determined by a personality test. Or you can just kind of cheat and go until you get the Pokemon you want. And then you can select your own partner Pokemon. So, in this game, you can be a Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu, Meowth, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, Skitty, Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, or Munchlax. They removed Eevee, Machop, Cubone, and Psyduck as a starter Pokemon. So, that is, yeah. However, they did limit, so there are exclusive Pokemons for each version. Explorers of Time can get Celebi, Combi, Lucario, Pachirisu, and Riolu, while Explorers of Darkness can get Burmy, Bunnelby, Lopunny, Mewtwo, and Rotom. But, yeah, this is just kind of everything. You know, it's the exact same type of style, really cute story, you know, you fall in love with the characters in the world, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, Explorers of the Sky, which is the better and more fully released, came out in 2009. Not too much to say about that. Let's see. Then we've got the 3DS one. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity came out in 2013. This has heavy usage of Unova Pokemon, which is Gen 5. Your starters are Pikachu, Oshawott, Tepig, Snivy, and Axew are the starters that you can choose from. And the personality test is gone. You can just flat out choose your starter and choose your partner. This game is fully 3D. Just like the personality test was fun. However, I enjoy getting specific Pokemon. Like, yeah, if you're willing to just take the test and see who you get, then that's a fun way. But I want certain Pokemon, so. But, yeah, this is, this is a really cute game as well. Very much focused on just doing everything you do. So, I enjoyed it. I've played this game and beaten it. And it will definitely be something that we get to at some point in the future. You know, the Mystery Dungeon series is very cute. Especially since they have several other versions. There's also Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Also for the 3DS. I don't know much about the Super Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Yeah, looks like this is different. Yeah, this is. So, I don't know anything about Super Mystery Dungeon, but it allows for all 20 Pokemon, which is 18 from the other, which is all 18 starting Pokemon from the 6 main generation series, so all the fire, water, and grass, along with Pikachu and Riolu. The game features all 720 Pokemon. But, yeah. Exact same storyline, you know. Dungeon crawling, roguelike RPG. You've got your Pokemon, and you battle, complete missions, and recruit new Pokemon as partners. So, it's unfortunate I don't have a lot to say about these because I don't know anything about them. And of course, we can round off with this at some point when I buy it, which is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, the 2020 Switch remake of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon's Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team. This still has the personality quiz, and you get to start off as some of the main starters, which is Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Chikorita, Torchic, Trico, Mudkip, Pikachu, Eevee, Machop, Cubone, Psyduck, Meowth, or Skitay. It's the exact same game, just made prettier. Oh, you can find shiny Pokemon too in this game. That's a new addition. But yeah, Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is definitely something I plan on playing at some point and buying, but that's super far in the future. Yes, so moving on to the next series, it's the Pokemon Ranger series. We tried to do this on stream, but playing this on an emulator with a mouse is very difficult, so I quit. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I quit. It was way too difficult to actually get done, but it is a fun side series if you want to play it on your own Game Boy. So, Pokemon Ranger is drastically different. You don't use Pokemon to battle Pokemon and catch Pokemon. A Pokemon Ranger captures Pokemon by spinning a disc or a capture styler. It's really more of a top. It's like a Beyblade almost. But you can control exactly where the Beyblade goes. What you do is you circle around the Pokemon with a capture line, which conveys your feelings to that Pokemon. And then once you do it enough and you've conveyed your feelings to it, it will join your team. That type of deal. When you capture them, they will join you, and you can use their field assist moves in battle or on the field to clear obstacles or to make capturing Pokemon easier. You only can use them once, except for your one partner Pokemon who is determined for you. In Pokemon Ranger, your partner Pokemon is a Minun if you're a male, or a Plusle if you are a female. So, yeah. That is Pokemon Ranger. They expanded that in the second game, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia. Really does not do too much. So the major change is that you have to complete Instead, okay, so in the first one you had to complete a certain amount of loops in order to capture the Pokemon without lifting the stylus. In the second game, instead of doing that, you just have to fill the friendship gauge by drawing loops around the Pokemon, but you can lift your stylus to avoid attacks. This will, however, cause the friendship gauge to slowly drain, but that's only if you stop for too long. This one has quests, which can earn you new partner Pokemon and power-ups for their styler. So players will start either with a Pachirisu, Munchlax, or Starly, and there are 14 other Pokemon that are obtainable through sub-quests. And then you can switch them out at any time. So there are a total of 17 possible partners. And you can just switch them out willy-nilly, because they realize that some people are like, but I want to change it. But yeah. So that's the major change. Other than that, you're going around trying to, protect Pokemon from evil people and just trying to keep the world safe. Alright, and then finally, the last one is Pokemon Rangers Guardian Signs. Let's see. Doesn't look like there's anything different. One of the big changes is that you can use a guardian sign, which you have to draw symbols and remember them, which is super difficult, to summon legendary Pokemon to help you in battle. Or not battle, but outside of battle. Which is, they'll help you traverse or they'll do something for you. Let's see. You end up with a ukulele Pikachu as your partner. That's right, you have a ukulele Pikachu. La 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 la. That's right. However, they will join you as a partner after you fix their ukulele. And so you just go around and save people and yada yada yada. So that's Pokemon Ranger. It's cute. It's very difficult to stream, but very cute. I've got the next series of games. I don't know too much about them. I've played a little bit of one of them, and I don't even have the game anymore because an ex took it from me. But whatever. But that is Pokemon Rumble. It is said that streaming it's so hard. It might be easier to play the second and the third game, but it's just super frustrating. So you've got Pokemon Rumble for the Wii. Could have sworn this was on the 3DS. Anyway, so the player controls Pokemon as they battle other Pokemon in a series of linear dungeons and enclosed areas. It's real-time melee-based gameplay. You start off with a low-level Pokemon with only one attack at their disposal. Battling wild Pokemon through a number of levels allows you to collect coins, which can be used to buy new attacks or recruit more Pokemon. When the player obtains a high enough level Pokemon, the doors to the Battle Royale open, where you can take on dozens of Pokemon at a time in an enclosed arena. You must defeat all Pokemon in order to rank up, eventually facing much stronger and even legendary Pokemon. Tells me literally nothing, thanks to Pokemon Rumble. Pokemon Rumble Blast is what I'm familiar with, I think. for the 3DS. So, boss Pokemon awaits the end of each dungeon, and the difficulty of each boss increases as the player progresses throughout the game. Obviously, you can buy new moves and gain more Pokemon. This game includes toy Pokemon from the first 5 generations. So, I don't know the best way to describe this game. It's very different. It's like, it's just a melee brawl. You know, you just kind of go up and headbutt things. Yeah, you've got a quest and you go and you take care of it. Then they made a third game, Pokemon Rumble U. Oh, this is cute. After a mishap at the toy Pokemon shop, some Pokemon capsules are swept down a river and washed up on a strange riverbank. Pokemon emerge from these Poke capsules and set out to find their way back to the toy Pokemon shop. On the course of the journey, they discover Pokemon reluctant of returning to the toy shop. It's even found that the 4 Pokemon were intentionally thrown into the river in the first place. Yeah. Not much given for me on this to really read and talk about it, but that is the Pokemon Rumble... Oh, no, there's one more. Pokemon Rumble World. Top-down. Alright, let's see if this gives us a little bit more. Pokemon Rumble World is an action game with a top-down perspective that has the player assuming the role of their main character in the Kingdom of Toys, a land populated by toy versions of 719 distinct Pokemon species. At the behest of the king, the player must travel to various lands, battling and collecting new Pokemon to increase their adventure rank. By taking direct control of their Pokemon, they can engage other creatures in real-time combat. Nope, that tells us literally nothing. I think it's still just the same, you know, you're just... It's just an all-out brawl, and you're just fighting. Headbutting, all that type of deal. And another one, Pokemon Rumble Rush. Oh, this is a free-to-play mobile game. And the game will be shutting down July 22nd on 2020. Well, if you want to play Pokemon Rumble Rush, now's your chance. Rumble Rush. Yup. But if you want to know what Pokemon Rumble is, you got a chance. It's been out for 1 year. Came out May 22nd, 2019. Shuts down July 22nd, 2020. Like other games in the Rumble series, Rush Rumble features toy Pokemon which are controlled by the player through tap controls. Game progression centers on moving between islands. It consists of levels where the player's Pokemon fight against other Pokemon, completing the level by defeating the boss. You just the player's Pokemon are measured with CP or combat power and are obtained through beating the levels. So, yeah. Now, let's move on to the big ticket item for spin-offs, which is Pokemon Snap, which we saw on stream yesterday. Pokemon Snap is just, a cute N64 game where you go and take pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitats. You ride along a track, and your job is to take pictures. You get a couple of items to help you. You get apples to move Pokemon. You get Pester Balls to knock Pokemon off ledges or out of bushes. And you get a Poke Flute to wake up Pokemon or to cause some Pokemon to dance. There aren't all the Pokemon. In fact, there are only 63 Pokemon in this game. There's one legendary Pokemon, and if you can unlock the mystery of the island, you get a chance to capture that Pokemon with a picture. You are Todd Snap, which, if you are familiar with the Pokemon anime series, this is Todd, the guy with the camera, who... I think Todd showed up in the actual anime, I think. Anyway, whatever. So, you just... You take pictures for Oak. There are some things you have to do, to get to the next level. You have to get a certain amount of points, or take pictures of a certain amount of Pokemon, or do something to cause your route to change. They're fairly obvious, except for the very, very last one. The last one is kind of asinine to do if you don't know about it. But I know about it. And it was it's fun, and it's nice. But that is Pokemon Snap, and the reason Pokemon Snap has come out and become popular again is because just last week, or the week before, they announced new Pokemon Snap coming out at some point. It's yet unannounced, but new Pokemon Snap is coming out for the Switch, and we don't know much about it. It's the sequel. We've seen Pokemon from across all 8 generations in it. Oh, gosh. But it's just, people have been asking for it, and now we're finally going to get that brand new, updated Pokemon Snap. New generations, better controls. Is just, everything that a lot of us have been wanting for a very, very long time. So, I'm super excited for the new Pokemon Snap, to be honest. Okay, now we're going to be able to pick up the pace quite a bit, because we've got the puzzling and miscellaneous games. So, first up is Pokemon Trose. It's a puzzle-themed game. It's similar to Tetris and Yoshi's Cookie, in which you've got blocks with Pokemon shapes. They fall onto the screen. However, only blocks on the bottom screen can be moved and matched. You can move blocks left to right. And yada yada yada. If 4 of the same Pokemon are in a row, a match is made and those Pokemon will disappear. So, Pokemon Trose is really just a cute Pokemon version of Tetris and Yoshi's Cookie. So, it's very cute and fun. Then there's Pokemon Link Battle. Let's see. Yeah, this is out in North America too, 2014. Let's see. The gameplay of Pokemon Battle Trose is similar to the Japanese mobile game Puzzle and Dragons. Players engage in a Pokemon battle depicted on the top screen of the handheld device. To battle the enemy Pokemon, players create groups of 3 or more identical icons on the grid on the bottom. Battles are fought using rock, paper, scissors style system, where each Pokemon has different elemental types assigned to it. The outcome is based on the strengths and weaknesses that these types have on each other. This mechanic of elemental strength and weaknesses borrows from the main Pokemon game. This is the first Pokemon puzzle game to borrow rules from the main series. In addition to the matching mechanic, the game requires strategy when considering which Pokemon types to use in battle. Cute. So it's Trose, but different. Intriguing. Then you've got Pokemon Shuffle, which is a freemium puzzle game. There's a Pokemon Shuffle mobile version as well. So Shuffle is a puzzle game in which players fight against various Pokemon by matching 3 or more of the same Pokemon. You accomplish this by swapping around Pokemon on the bottom of your screen. You can take up to 4 support Pokemon with you, some of which can deal additional damage depending on their type. Players progress through each stage by defeating the opposing Pokemon within a set number of moves, after which you receive in-game coins and your Pokemon gain experience. It requires freemium format in which the player requires hearts to attempt each stage, with the player able to recover up to 5 hearts by waiting a certain amount of time. You can also use coins to purchase power-ups such as extra moves prior to entering a stage. Extra hearts and coins can be purchased with jewels, which are either earned by defeating trainers or purchased. So, Shuffle is cute. You can play on your phone. Then there's the brand new Pokemon Cafe Mix that just came out on Nintendo Switch and mobile. It's a free-to-play puzzle game. Gameplay of Pokemon Cafe Mix is similar to Disney's Sum Sum mobile game, in which player connects icons together to advance missions. In the game, the player and Eevee are the owners of a cafe, where Pokemon come in order of Pokemon-related foods and drinks. With each order, the player engages in a puzzle to make the items. In these puzzles, the player needs to clear Pokemon icons on screen by linking them in a ring. The goal is to collect enough of a particular item displayed on the customer's list. Some puzzles may involve clearing extra key objectives, but with each successful order, the player can upgrade their cafe with more rooms and floors, which attract more types of Pokemon that are willing to become staff of the cafe. Staff Pokemon can help with puzzles by making them easier, for example, by changing one type of icon to another. This is cute and adorable. It's definitely something I would play myself, and we'll probably get around to it. Downloading it. But it is on mobile, and it is free to play. Jumping back in time, we've got Hey You Pikachu, a virtual pet video game for the N64. It is one of only 2 games that utilizes the N64's voice recognition unit, a piece of hardware that can comprehend and analyze the human voice, and it is the only game to use the VRU that was released in the United States. The player can move around and pick up items in addition to speaking with Pikachu and can describe everything. The game begins when the main character is asked to try out a new device of Professor Oak's that is used to talk to Pokemon. The player soon meets a wild Pikachu and befriends it. The player must earn Pikachu's trust and eventually will come to live in the player's house. There are 3 different activity days: Pikachu's Daring Days, Discovery Days, and Play Days. Each day has a different objective, i.e. collecting food, going fishing, and the player can earn Pika Points, which is currency used at Abra's shop to unlock new items. Eventually, if the player reaches day 365, Oak appears and says that Pikachu has to be released as it is a wild Pokemon. The player has to go to the woods where Pikachu was found and say goodbye several times, upon which Pikachu realizes it can't live with the player anymore and sadly leaves. After the credits, while the player is looking around the front yard and reminiscing about Pikachu, it returns and the game continues as if Pikachu was never released. It has very, very mixed reviews for it. Some players really liked it. Some players really didn't like it. Kind of hard, you know. But it is cute, but whatever. Next is the Pokemon Puzzle Challenge for the Game Boy Color. It is based on Panel de Pon, only with characters from the Pokemon franchise. Let's see. It looks like this is just Tetris of some sort. Similar to Tetris Attack and Kirby's Star Stacker, because it uses the same size puzzle grid. So yeah, this is just Pokemon Tetris. Cool. Puzzle League, which is on the N64. Also just Tetris. Pokemon Channel. This is on the GameCube. I don't know too much about this. Pokemon Channel is difficult to categorize into a genre as it incorporates elements of adventure simulation and digital pet games. 3D graphics, first-person perspective, and you navigate and select things with a cursor. The game centers on watching television programs with a Pikachu. Player lives in a house, can channel surf freely among the various channels created by the Pokemon Professor. We'll explore one room of the house and several outdoor areas. Pikachu sometimes displays emotional reactions while watching, such as happiness or anger. The game takes place over a few days with unique plot events on each. Each day lasts exactly 1 day because it uses the in-game or inner clock of the GameCube. So you just watch TV. Yeah, I don't really see too much to do about this game, so yeah, not too much to describe. Then there's a spin-off which is called Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire. it's no longer available to get. It's the most exclusive Pokemon software ever offered to North American Pokemon fans. I literally know nothing else about it. Anyway, let's move on to Pokemon Dash. It's a racing game using the stylus to control a Pikachu and race through checkpoints. After players have passed enough each of the number of checkpoints in order, the course is complete. Yeah, that's basically Pokemon Dash. You're just dashing around. There are sky races where you have balloons. Yeah. Let's see. This is adorable, but it's Japanese only. It's called Pokemate. It's a mobile game. Pokemon-themed messaging application. Oh, that's adorable. Here we go. On the WiiWare, there's My Pokemon Mate, which is, similar concept to Pokemon Box. Allows you to transfer up to 1,500 Pokemon from 8 separate Pokemon Diamond and Pearl NDS game cards to a ranch. Here you can just view your Pokemon and interact with them in 3D. That's about it. You just walk around with your Miis and interact with the Pokemon there. Then there's Pokepark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. One day while playing with Charmander, Chikorita, and Piplup, Pikachu is sent to the Pokepark where mythical Pokemon Mew tells him that 14 pieces of the Sky Prism that protects the park has been shattered and gone missing. You must set out on an adventure to find them in the Pokepark. Okay, that's kind of cute. You do battle. There are obstacle hops. It's called Obstacle Hop. And then you must battle and do chase and yada yada. I don't even know if this is real battling or anything. It's like Pikachu can use Thunderbolt, Dash, and Iron Tail. This was never released in North America. Huh. But there's Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure for the Nintendo DS. Oh, there's a wireless keyboard bundled peripheral for your DS. Weird, but you can learn to type with Pokemon. Basically tells you everything you need. You type. Then there's Pokepark 2 for the Wii, Wonders Beyond. Same story as Pokepark. Just you can do with multiplayer with friends. Here's another cool type of deal, which is Pokemon Conquest, which also my ex stole from me. The player, accompanied by an Eevee, travels through the region, befriending Pokemon and battling warriors and warlords to conquer and unite the region. It's a turn-based strategy RPG, unlike the main series. Different Pokemon capable of using different attacks and means of move sets. I think this is similar to, let's see. What is this similar to? This might be similar to, Fire Emblem type of deal. You control your Pokemon in like a top-down thing. You move them around to battle other Pokemon, befriend them, all that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Then we've got Pokken Tournament, which is a literal brawler. Like all the fighting games. Then there's Pokken Tournament, which is the brawler. And Pokemon Tekken DX, which is on the Switch, which is an enhanced brawler. There's Pokemon Picross, which is a freemium puzzle game. It's just Picross, but with Pokemon. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to fly through these. Then there's Detective Pikachu on the 3DS. Don't really know anything about this, but it's Detective Pikachu. Looks like you're trying to solve some mysteries as Pikachu. And now we've got some mobile games. There's Pokemon Magikarp Jump, which I've beaten. It's really bad, but it's fun, but it's really bad. Pokemon Magikarp Jump. There's Pokemon Quest, which I cannot speak to. I have never played, however, Panda plays it on occasion. It's a blocky voxel-style design similar to Minecraft, where you battle Pokemon, attract Pokemon, evolve Pokemon, yada yada yada. We also just got the announcement of Pokémon Unite, which is coming out TBA. It's a MOBA, and it can be on Android, iOS, and the Nintendo Switch. And then, of course, there are other spin-off games on the mobile app, like the Pokédex 3D and the 3D Pro, which is helpful for just looking up information about Pokemon. There's Pokemon Bank, which you can use to store your Pokemon. There's Pokemon Go, which, well, it's Pokemon Go. There's Pokemon Duel, which unfortunately no longer exists. Pokemon Playhouse, I know nothing about. Pokemon Masters, don't know anything about. Pokemon, or Camp Pokemon, don't know anything about. Poke Home, don't know anything about. And Pokemon Smile, which is the new brushing your teeth one. And, yeah. I think that's going to be it. We just flew through all of these spin-off Pokemon games. We really flew through those. I didn't have a lot of information on some. Others, I had so much information I didn't know what to parse through in order to keep some of the stories, safe. But yeah, we probably went through about 30 to 40 games. It was a lot. We just kind of went through and listed off all the Pokemon shit. But, yeah. That's that. So, I'd like to thank y'all for dropping by. This was not the most informative. I think I'm going to try to give us a nice little, we'll go more intellectual and slower for the next, podcast, I think. We'll do something fun. But yes, it was a good little overview for everybody who was not familiar with everything we had out there in terms of Pokemon outside of the main series. We will also do a main series cover where we'll talk about Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black, White 2, X, Y, Omega Ruby, Omega Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sword and Shield. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and I'll talk to you all later. And until then, everybody, share funker, bye,